Whoa, whoa, Sunday 8 o'clock, are you ready? I don't think you're ready. Just kidding, I think you might be ready. Hi guys, it's been a couple days. I was going live every day for a little bit, but now we took a little break and we are back. Alright, Micah, I am sending you this. You'll to see it in a second. And then just hit the button so that you can join me. Hope everyone had a wonderful Sunday.
Hey.
How are ya?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, wonderful. You look very pretty. Your
Oh,
lighting's
thank you.
nice.
So do you. So do you.
Girl. Get out of here. Thank you. Thank you. Good to see ya.
You too.
So I'm super glad that you were able to do this with me tonight. I'm just going to give you a little intro and get us all set up. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our next episode of Chat E, normally Sundays at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Tonight with me, I have Micah Hudson, and she is the founder and CEO of M Vintage Designs. And I'm so pumped for her to kind of like share her story with everyone and just let you know what she's all about. Micah, do you want to kind of share a little bit about your business and just give yourself a little introduction?
Yeah, so like she said, I own M Vintage Designs, and it's just kind of like, I don't really know how you would describe it, because it kind of started off as like just vintage clothing. Like, honestly, my sister and I, like during the pandemic, like right when it started, she would kind of help me. Like, we just started doing it for fun, and it was like we would go to like thrift stores and get like old t-shirts and stuff like that and like bleach them. And now it's kind of a mixture of like that and like I've kind of done like wholesale clothing too, and like kind of reworked that, and just some normal stuff too. So it's a lot of age, and just like also like, you know, just like trendy stuff. But so I don't know if you'd call it like a boutique or like a online. It's all online, but it's, I don't know if it's like a boutique or like just a like vintage shop. It's kind of a mixture of all of it. So
no, that's super cool.
Yeah.
I actually, just through your explanation, learned so much more, and this will kind of lead into some of the questions I'm going to ask you as we chat, but that's super cool. So I guess we can just kind of get into that one now. But so most of the clothing that you find initially, so you're just like kind of finding one of those said things when you go shopping? Like when you go
like I said,
or something like that, it's not like you're ordering shirts in bulk. You're literally going
it started off as just that. Now I kind of do like a little mixture of everything, just because like we started off just doing like one of a kind. Like it was literally like for fun. Like I was subbing like at the school, and then after I'd get off, I would like, I did online school. I actually am like, I just graduated, but while I was still in school, I was doing school online. I was subbing because I was going to be a teacher. That's what my degree is in. And so then when I got off, oh really? Oh my gosh, cool. Yeah. So then like it was just like kind of a side thing. We would go and like it was mainly me, but my sister would kind of help me. And we just would go to like Goodwill or like different thrift stores and like find old shirts that we thought were cute, and like I said, just like bleach them. Now it's kind of, when we started this, like really when the pandemic like began, like February, March. And so I had a lot of free time because like of course I couldn't sub. And so then it kind of transitioned into like I was doing wholesale, because it really like took off, and like you can only do so many like one of a kinds, you know, sometimes the stores are like hit or miss. So yeah, a lot of it is one of a kind, because I feel like that adds like an element of like uniqueness to it. But now, you know, over the summer I kind of transitioned into doing like some wholesale and like incorporating that, so I have some more inventory and stuff like that. So yeah, a lot of it is one of a kind, and that, like I said, is like thrift store items, or like sometimes, you know, I'll find them like online now that I've really gotten like into it. But yeah, for the one of a kinds, that's kind of what I do. And then I have a wholesale, he kind of like, it's a guy in Colorado, actually. I live in Arkansas. And any like kind of idea I have, he's awesome. Like he can pretty much do anything. So he does a lot of like the bulk orders for me and stuff. So, but I would say it's kind of a 50-50 of like the one of a kinds and just like some staple, like really cool things that we just like keep in stock. So yeah.
No, well, that's like super cool, because when I've been on your website, when I was like trying to pick my shirts are in the mail, you guys. I got these for family and friends for Christmas. So her clothing and everything that she's making is so cool and special. But some of the stuff that I wanted was out of stock, and I was like,
I know we run into that a lot too, because
is it
it's
the
like
only one that you're making though? Like for some of them, and people
for a lot of them. Like I know one of our biggest things is like the vintage Harleys, and those like I hand pick the. I mean,
they're
you know,
so
find
cool.
them, and so those are like a huge thing. So like pretty much almost instantly, like 80% of those once they hit the website are gone the same day.
That's
so
amazing.
those are kind of hard. I try to like really shop, but sometimes it's like, you know, you get so over the summer I had hired a girl. She's awesome, but she went to college and she was helping me over the summer. And so that was a huge help because I felt like I had more time to like look for like one of a kind items. But now that it's kind of like solely me and I don't have like as much help, my mom and my sister, when I finished my student teaching, I moved back home so I could save money because you can't work obviously when you're doing student teaching. And they've been great to like help me, but like still it's like with all that stuff it's been kind of hard to like keep in stock like all the stuff I know is hot items, like the one of a kind. So yeah,
that makes so much sense. My dad rides a Harley and he'll like go on his bikes all the time with his friends, and so I was showing him, and it wasn't really something necessarily that he would buy, but I was like, oh, this is one I want for myself. And then when I was showing my sister, she's like, oh, I want a Harley one. Those were like a couple of the ones we were like big time just because, you know, that relation too. Sick anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm not even like, I couldn't even tell you the first thing about Harleys, but like I think the shirts are so cool. I'm like, this is so cute. Yeah. So yeah, I would say those are probably like one of the more popular one of a kind things, you know, and then like NBA shirts and like, you know, sports teams and stuff like that. I like to do stuff like that too, but yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah, I actually, so a friend of mine owns, can I speak, Bloom Babe Boutique in Arkansas also. And
oh my gosh, I know, she's actually one of my good friends. Yeah,
and she was like, when her and I first met and like got on the phone, she's done a chat with me like when I first started. She was like my fourth one, and her and I have become friends, and I was actually potentially going to come to Arkansas in January, but with COVID I'll probably come later on. But anyway, she's the one who kind of introduced like me to your brand and what was going on.
Oh my gosh,
there's so many cool small businesses and she's built herself up and it's so cool. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to check it out. So giving her a little shout out too, because she's kind of how I got to you too. And
yeah, she's great. I actually drove by her. I was like in my hometown today and I drove by her shop and I was like,
we just moved her
so
shop.
Cute. Yeah.
Very cool.
It's so cute. So yeah, I adore her. She's so sweet.
She's so great. So kind of cool for everyone to connect that way too. So super awesome. Good for you for starting your business so recently. Very exciting during quarantine. This is like the time to kind of find out like a side hustle and maybe potentially like a full-time gig, but kind of this is the time to find something and like start at it. So good for you. That's awesome. A lot of people have been asking when I do these, how initially when you're starting your own business, especially if it's not your full-time job, you have to find money to like invest in it. And especially as your business grows, things get more expensive, but then you're also profiting more. So, you know, you're making more money back. But when you got started, I guess not necessarily sure what your expectations were for it. Like you said, kind of you were just having fun. But where did you get the funds to get your business started? Or like, did you start small and kind of then had to start investing more?
So yeah, like I said, when I started doing it, like it was actually kind of funny how I started doing it. I like me and my sister, I actually saw like on, I think it was like Pinterest or something that like people like were like bleaching shirts. And so I like asked my sister, I'm like, we can go like find shirts. Like, and we posted them on our Snapchat stories and people were like, y'all should sell these. Like, these are so cute. So like, it wasn't like I had this like really unique idea. I was like, okay, this might be a good way to like make some side money. So I kind of just started. It wasn't like a huge investment at first because like I said, I would just go get like a few shirts and like sell them. And then like, you know, I would have my sister model for me or whatever. And so it wasn't like, I mean, it was money, but like I said, I was subbing. So like at the school. So, and I moved back home so I could save money while I finished college. So all those factors, like it wasn't like a huge like toll on like me really like financially, just because like it kind of started off slower. And then once I started making money, then I started kind of investing more in like, you know, stuff like that. But yeah, with my situation, it was more like I didn't really expect it to take off like it did. Now I'm like, I have my degree in teaching. I knew I wanted to finish school, but like now that I have my degree, I'm like, I will not make as much as a teacher as I will running this business. So my plan is to like just do my business. So yeah, I would say like starting off financially, Yeah, it wasn't like I had really invested too much into it, which I was fortunate because it's not with the one of a kind stuff. It was like, Goodwill, like you can get like a ton of shirts for like $15. So
Sure.
I was
Yeah.
fortunate in that way. It wasn't like a huge risk. So
Right. But you're still, even if you're not investing initially a ton of money, it still takes time. And especially if you want certain things, like learn how to like create them the way you want it. If you have like a vision for certain shirts and stuff, it's kind of like mastering that.
yeah.
If I was putting bleach on something,
Yeah.
how crazy it would turn out.
Well,
But
and that was the thing. It was like, it wasn't this, like, I didn't, like, in my own head, I wasn't like, oh, like, I need to start bleaching shirts. But once I started doing it
right,
and I started getting, like, creative with it, then that's kind of when I started, like, developing a passion for it. And I was like, this is
right.
so fun. Like, I love doing this. So, yeah, it's kind of crazy how it worked out. But
And that's really cool too that you use the word passion. I love it when people say that because it shows that like you're not doing it because you have to, but like you're enjoying it.
yeah,
And very cool. I was also, like I said, went down the education route and I'm working for myself now. I am still working with some kids right now, but also have a bunch of different like business kind of things that I'm working on too. And I do this
yeah.
and it's so much fun and have met so many cool people. So, I mean, it's cool to go to school for something, but then it's also okay to change your mind. So you don't
Well,
think,
and that's my thing. Yeah. I mean, I've said, so I've been really torn, honestly, because like I said,
yeah,
I just finished and I'm like, I know I want to teach kids. Like I love, like my major is elementary. So like,
me too.
I love being around kids. Like, yeah, like I absolutely love it. So I've kind of been torn, like, do I continue like putting my sole focus into this? Cause it is a full-time job
Yeah,
or
totally.
like, do I go straight into teaching? So I know eventually I want to go into teaching, but like, I don't know. I was like, I have this business. It's like successful. It's doing really well. So I just, and I really enjoy it. Like I am
Right.
passionate about it. So I've decided to kind of pursue that for now. But yeah, I think one day I will, eventually use my degree because like I said, I love being in the classroom too. So
For sure. Yeah, and as you should, your degree's not going to go anywhere. So
yeah,
you finished it, you figured it out, but there's always time for like other things and do what makes you happy. So that's awesome.
yeah,
So you have your degree in education, and then right now what you're doing is like, I guess kind of like a form of art, I would say. You're kind of like getting creative and like doing something fun. So do you have any like art or creative background at all, or is this kind of something that just came upon you and you just started playing with it?
it's funny. I'm very into like, artsy, to answer your question, I am the least artistic person
Mm-hmm.
probably. Like, I don't have any art background whatsoever. Like, I wish I could say I was artistic. Like, no one in my family is artistic except my sister. And like, we're all like, where did you get this? Because like, no one in our family is any like artsy whatsoever. But I will say, like, I'm very, like, I love like fashion and like vintage clothing is like,
Sure.
like, I've always been into that. And so,
Yeah.
like, I wouldn't say like artsy wise I have like a big background in, but I think like clothing wise and like just like vintage clothing especially, and
Yeah.
just like I would say like creativity, like fashion wise,
Yeah.
I've always been interested in that. But artistically, no, that is not a word I would use to describe myself. So
Well, that's like really cool because it's like you're bringing a spin off of something that like you have a lot of knowledge on or that like is important to you and like
yeah,
adding to it and then you're learning a new skill at the same time.
yeah,
Like your skill.
yeah.
That's kind of
Yeah, I know.
inspiring.
It's kind of brought out like what little artistic I like side I have, but I would not like use that word to describe myself. I wish, but like I remember taking art in high school and I was like, this is sad. This like
Right. No, I feel you.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, never underestimate yourself because all of a sudden these crazy cool things come out and then it's really
Yeah.
That's awesome. So how did you come up with your name? I guess you were going and purchasing vintage clothing and then selling it, and that's kind of like, but did all of a sudden your name just come to you, or where did that come from?
I honestly like kind of looked at like different like Instagram pages that kind of like inspired me and like
Right.
kind of put some like names together that like I kind of like took a little bit from each one, and I put the M obviously for like Micah, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I've said this before. It's kind of funny because I'm like, if I knew it would have like kind of taken off like it did, I don't know if I would have like incorporated. I may have like chosen a different name, and I've actually thought about like a few times like maybe like tweaking the name a little bit, but
I think it's cute. I like it.
yeah, I like it. I just like I don't know. Like I said, I just thought it was gonna be like a little Instagram page or something. So yeah, I kind of looked at like different pages and kind of got some inspiration from that, and then I incorporated like the first initial of my name. So kind of
Yeah.
a mixture of all of that.
Yeah, no, that's how you got to do it too. That's what
Yeah.
Chat E is too. Like my name's Ellie, and so it's like instead of Chatty, like Chatty, it's Chat E. So
Yeah.
like all the things
Yeah,
that
that's
are like
so
that.
cute. I love that. See, I feel like mine isn't like that creative. Like when I first made it, it's like vintage design. But yeah, no, I just kind of took some like looked at different pages and like got some inspiration from all those. So
It's important to incorporate yourself into it, especially if it's your thing and it's not being like,
yeah,
oh my gosh, guess what? My name's Micah and this is my business. But like
yeah,
then people, you know what I mean? But then like people
yeah,
kind of wonder, and then like once they find out about you, it makes sense. And it's like,
yeah,
yeah, it's like patenting it and like owning it. I love it. It's great.
yeah, yeah.
So that it makes total sense, and I think it's super cute.
Thank you.
Of course, you're so welcome. So when you are making a shirt, when you get an order, how long does it generally take for you to make one?
To like make the shirt.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like,
it's kind of like a mixture. Like I said, like I have, you can kind of see, I'm in my office right now, and you guys like don't judge because it's like pretty messy. But like this is like I consider like my office. I have a bunch of like just shirts like that I have in stock on the website here. And then I have like my one of a kinds obviously are already made because
right.
we make to sell those. So if it's one I have in stock, it's the turnaround time usually I would say is like 3 days maybe if it's
Mm-hmm.
something we have in stock. I feel like I'm pretty good about like shipping it
Yeah.
out if we have it. There are a few that like don't get ordered a ton, so I don't keep like a lot in stock. But the guy that I mentioned earlier that does like the wholesale orders for me, if it's like one that I just need like occasionally, I can just email him on the day that I get an order
Right.
for that, and he'll send like the shirt or the whatever the item
Mm-hmm.
is to me. So if that happens, it'll take about probably closer to like a week turnaround time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would say, and then customs, I do custom orders as well. And those can take like 2 to 3 weeks because I have to get the shirt made, get it sent to me, make it,
Right. Right.
and then ship it out. So yeah, and then I have like, and it's funny because like I have on the page, like at checkout, I'm like, orders can take up to 3 weeks, but like, it's like, I feel like I need to get better about like specifying which ones because I feel like it's like kind of not super clear because like there are those like one of a kind like vintage that are ready to go. Then you have like the ones that like take a little longer. So yeah, I'm still kind of just figuring it out, like I said, because I, no business experience or anything like that. But
Right.
yeah,
I feel like that's also all part of like the learning curve, and it would be better
yeah,
for you to tell people then it's going to take longer and then it pop up on their doorstep in a week.
exactly.
You'd be like, hey, it'll be here in a week and it takes 3.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I've tried to do, but you learn
Realistically
as you
too.
go. Yeah.
Yeah, realistically too, it's just like, I mean, most of the things people probably aren't like super, super rushed to have it right away. So I feel, and they know.
Yeah, and if they are, and I know someone is, like, obviously, like, I try to make it a point, to get it out really soon. So, but I would say the customs, like, take the longest, and those can take, about 2.5 weeks. So.
Gotcha. So when you're actually, like, in the process of doing the bleaching, does that, like, process itself take a long time, too, or that one's usually pretty quick?
Not really. I mean, like, if you're just talking about, like, one shirt, I mean, you can have one shirt done. I mean, you have to bleach it and then you have to wash it. So, I mean, but just the bleaching, like, I learned that when you're bleaching, if you like, okay, I've started doing that outside because actually, like, the sun with the bleach makes, like, a really cool, like, color combination with the bleach. But, like, I learned this summer, it was really, like, crazy. It was, like, when I first kind of started, like, a lot of people wanted to order and like I had a ton of shirts to make. Well, I didn't know that if you left like shirts that had bleach on them in the sun for a long time, like it would eat through. And so like it ate through like all the shirts I was doing like completely.
Oh no.
So that was a learning a learning time.
Sure,
But yeah, I would say now that I know that I don't like I'm very careful with it. So it probably takes, I would say, 10 minutes for the entire shirt to be done. And then of course you have to wash it and stuff like that. But yeah,
that's good.
It's really not, it's not like crazy. It is an extra step than just like ordering stuff and having it ready to ship out, but it's really not like anything crazy. So
yeah, that's awesome. I mean, yeah, it's just all the process of the packaging, making sure it's just a process in general. But it looks like you're learning very quickly, which is good.
Yeah, thank you. I'm trying.
Yeah, And it's all about that trial and error too, because the big thing is a lot of people, if like that happened to them, they left the shirts out in the sun, then they would have been like, forget it, I'm not doing this anymore. But it's good that
I know.
you know
I
what I
was so sick. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. But it
But now
ended
you
up
know
being exactly. Now I know. So
yeah, so that's really what's important at the end of the day. So
yeah.
for one shirt, it says you said it takes like 10 minutes. Do you usually like if are you usually focusing on like one shirt at a time? Or are you able, I literally know nothing about bleaching, so this is exciting.
Yeah.
So many cool patterns.
So
Can you do
in the
multiple at a
beginning,
time?
yeah, in the beginning I would focus on one, but now that I have such a huge like quantity, like number of orders, you know, it's like I'll do like 25 shirts at a time. But
Yeah.
like it definitely, like if you're doing a big, like a lot of shirts, like you need someone to help you, because it's like you got to make sure you don't like bleach the wrong part of a shirt, and you got to be like very like strategic with it. So my mom and my sister have been really good to help me, like since I'm at home, but I'm about to move out, so I'm like, I've got to figure it out. I'm gonna have to hire someone else. So because it's definitely, like I said, it's when you're doing 20-25 at a time, it's like it's not something you can do on your own. Like it would take probably triple the time to do it if you didn't have help. So
Right.
but yeah, I'm usually doing like probably, I would say 25 at a time, you know.
That's crazy though, but like that means you're getting that many orders. Like that's insane.
Yeah, no, when it first started happening, I was like, this is so crazy. And like like I said, I had a girl working for me over the summer, and she was great. Like she like it was amazing how much more like time I had just like having someone help me. So it definitely makes a difference.
For sure. And it gets to a point though too in your business where you're doing well and you are at a place where you can hire someone if you need it. So that's a big deal. And it's happening so quickly for you. So that's so great.
Yeah, I know. I'm like very blessed that it's happened like as quickly as it did, because I really do enjoy it, and it's like it's fun for me, you know, it doesn't feel like work. So
right. And that's what matters. And the thing is too, I feel like what you're doing is like simple but like super sick. Like sometimes it's really like you have to reinvent the wheel. Not simple, the thing about bleach. I'm just meaning like you just thought of two things to put together and all of a sudden you made something out of it.
Yeah.
You know?
And I feel like one of like it like people like it is because it's like something unique, you know.
Totally.
So yeah.
Girl, I would agree. Yeah, I know. It is. It's fun. Super exciting and super cool. So when you are designing a shirt, you said that you do personalized ones, or if people ask, what's the word I'm looking for? Like requests or
like customs.
Yes, that's the word I want.
Yeah.
Customs. I guess if someone asks you for something in specific, then you'll do that. But what is your inspo normally for like designs when you get to the bleaching, or do you have any?
Like I said, so like Hailey Bieber is like always been like my fashion inspiration, and she's like very into like vintage, like, you know, stuff like that. She's like very like vocal on that. So I don't know, like customs, like if people request something, obviously like there's not a whole lot like we can't do. But if it's just me and I'm like thinking of stuff like to put on the website, like I love her style. Like if I'm like drawing a blank, I'll go to like Pinterest and type in like Hailey Bieber street style, get some like inspiration. Like and like the Harleys, that's a huge thing. So I don't know, just like, yeah. So coming up with ideas as far as like vintage and one of a kind stuff, and like kind of what is like in, if I'm kind of like over what I've been doing. I love looking at her stuff because she has the cutest like vintage like outfit. So it kind of gives me inspiration. But and then, you know, like always like a go-to is like I mentioned earlier, like the sports teams and stuff like that. Those are always a big hit. And I feel like they're kind of like versatile if you go like the 80s and 90s, and like even like, you know, back in the early 2000s are all different. So I feel like it's pretty easy to mix it up with that. But yeah, Hailey Bieber has always been an inspiration for me. And like, especially with the vintage stuff, she has like always the cutest vintage outfits. And I'm like, okay, if I need some inspiration for the website or like shirts to order, I just like look up her street style.
We'll have to tag her at the end of this. How fun.
Yeah.
I'll tag her. Have you been seeing, I don't know if you watch TikTok, but all these TikToks are like tagging like David Dobrik and Miley and like Justin, and they've been responding to them. They're coming at like,
oh my gosh. Well, I did see something on Snapchat about that. I actually had to, I re-downloaded it like a week ago, but I had to delete my TikTok because I became so obsessed with it. I was like, this is taking away from my schoolwork, from like my
Were you making them
life.
or just watching them?
Okay, so like during quarantine, I started making them, and then
Mm-hmm.
I would like go back and watch them. And I was like judging myself. I was like, I have to get rid
I
of
know.
this. Like, what am I doing? So, but I recently, my sister is like really into it, and she's been like she makes me like make TikToks with her. So I recently re-downloaded it just so I could watch myself and like
Mm-hmm.
cringe.
No,
But
it's
yeah, I saw
fun.
something about that on like a Snapchat article, but I don't really do TikTok because I get like addicted to it. It is addicting.
There's some of them are so funny. I know. I'll scroll through it. I've made some before, and then I'm like, but I don't really do dance. It's just like random.
Yeah,
I'm not a
uh,
good dancer at all. My rhythm is
I'm not
really
either.
bad. So.
Yeah, no, me either. I was like making some and I'm like, I just need to stop. Like, this is not my calling. Some people are like really like cool and like do it really good. But me, I'm like, yeah, I'm just embarrassing myself.
Agreed. And some of them are so funny. Like I
Yeah, I
get like a
know.
genuine laugh. I was like, oh, that was good. Even if it's them
Yeah,
or responding to someone else's like TikTok. They're,
yeah,
a lot of them are really funny. So I
yeah.
yeah, but they've
Well,
been
that too. And I felt like I was spending like hours just scrolling and I'm like, I have things I need to be doing. I need to get off
right.
of TikTok.
Right before bed, I'd be like, okay, like 12 o'clock max. 12 o'clock max. I have to get up early. Like, let me go to sleep. It's 12:15. I'm like, okay, 12:30, and then it's like 1, and you just get stuck on it, and because they're so
Yeah,
funny and there's so many.
yeah, I know.
Totally feel you. I do the same thing, but try. I don't watch it as much, but I was like totally getting hooked on it too.
Yeah, I know. It's addicting for sure.
My goodness. So, on one of the shirts on your website, and this is one of the ones I ordered too, so I think this is how I know. You had like different options for like regular splattering or something and then dipping. Is that
Mm-hmm.
correct? So do you
Yeah.
have, is that, I don't know if that's correct, but do you
Mm-hmm.
have different types of shirts that you make or like different designs that you put up on?
Different with it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So like actually I do like the splattering and stuff. I do with like actually it's crazy. I use like a water bottle and I like have poked a hole in the top of the water bottle and like use that for like kind of the splatter design.
That's
As
so
far as like
creative.
the sorry, what?
I said that's so creative. That's a good idea. I would have.
Well, I didn't come up with the idea. I just YouTubed it when I first started off, like how to do like different designs with bleach. But so I've been doing that, and it actually I love how they turn out when that happens.
Right.
So that's kind of what gives like the splatter look.
Mm-hmm.
And then like dipping, that's just like literally dipping it. Like you can or you can like kind of do it like with your hands with gloves. I learned to also use gloves because like my hands, like the skin was coming up. Like bleach is like not something you mess around with. I've learned that. So like I use gloves now and like I bought some masks, which like I need to probably wear when I do it more. But like, so you can do the dip style with like, if you like have bleach and then you like kind of do it with your like, if you have gloves on and like kind
Right.
of do it like that. But yeah, I've just kind of, that's pretty much what I use is like, I use like water bottles and then like, if I want to do something different, I might like do a spray bottle or like something like that. But
That's a good
pretty
idea.
much I can get not any design, but like, kind of what I have in mind with like those things. So
Yeah.
once you learn how to do it, you kind of like know, it's not, there's not like a whole lot to it. So
That's cool. Yeah, I don't even think I would have thought about necessarily how you were doing it.
yeah, no, I know, which like, and none of those ideas did I come up on my own. I like YouTube, like cute ways to bleach shirts. So
That's how you learn another way.
yeah,
Maybe
yeah,
eventually you find another way that works. So that's how you learn.
yeah.
That's good. So right now, are you only making t-shirts or are you making any other articles of clothing like hats or pants or I don't know?
So right now it's pretty much just shirts and like sweatshirts on the website.
Yeah.
When we started out, like I actually started doing like I love like vintage Levi's, like even like my own style. Like I love vintage Levi's. So I had like started like making shorts and like doing like reworked kind of like jeans and stuff like that. But that was a lot of like time put in. And I want to get back into that, but like
Yeah.
when I was still in school, like I just finished like 2 weeks ago. So trying to balance school and like doing all this stuff. The t-shirts are kind of the most like time efficient thing
No, yeah.
because like when you go and like try and redo a pair of like Levi jeans into shorts, that's a very like time consuming thing. And
Sure.
then like, it just like you have one pair that you've spent like 4 days on. And so I want to get back into kind of incorporating some of that.
Yeah.
But like kind of when you're thinking about like how much time it takes and like the kind of time I had, I was only like focusing on shirts, but I want to get back. I want to like start incorporating more of that because like I love stuff like that too. So
Yeah, no, I think especially, but like you said, if it's taking that long, that's quite some time, and you have other
yeah.
on,
And
so
then
that's
like in the summer we did like bucket hats
I was gonna
too.
say, I think that was one of my suggestions. I was gonna say, I think that'd be super cute. I just ordered one.
Yeah, yeah, those were a big hit over the summer, but I just kind of, with the seasons changing, I kind of
Yeah.
stopped doing those. But it's like there's a lot more I'm hoping now that I'm done with school I can like incorporate back into kind
Yeah.
of the website and like the store. So
Beanies could be cute.
yeah, no, I actually had a girl ask for like a custom beanie, so I'm actually gonna try and do that for her for Christmas. And if it goes well,
Yeah.
I thought about like doing that too. So yeah.
Yeah, they're super fun, and like then you can transition like another like article of clothing with the
Yeah.
season. No, but everything
Yeah.
on your site looks awesome, and it's all about like
No,
clothing.
thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. So right now, the clothing that you're buying, or like what you're using is like vintage stuff. Do you hope to in the future have like a line of your own, like maybe be kind of like creating your own, and like the name, you might already have this and I missed it, but like the name of your business is on your shirt, or like you have little sayings like you're on merch kind of, and then you just like bring it and do your thing?
Yeah, no, I would love that. I actually I mean like not let me just like go get one and show you. Let me
Okay.
see.
Mhm.
Like so some of the like wholesale stuff that we do, like okay, I'll just show you one. Like this is like one of the Nirvana tees
Mhm.
and this is like one of our wholesale items. And
Right.
like I don't know, I'm trying to get it like where you can see, but the guy that does these for me, he like puts like our logo, which like obviously this is not our own merch, but
Mhm.
like
Oh, I see it, the MVD.
just
Mhm.
like it has like our little logo and then like
That's
kind of like
awesome. Mhm.
yeah, so I mean obviously that's not our own merch, but like with
Eventually,
that
hopefully.
kind of
Yeah,
idea, I'm kind of starting to like transition into like stuff like that he,
totally.
can like do on our shirts. So yeah, to answer your question, that would be like a dream to have my own like line and like I hope to kind of do that. I just want to keep like growing it, like growing my business and like eventually I've thought about that a lot, like kind of doing my own like in vintage designs like line of clothing. So yeah, eventually I would love to get there.
No, that you totally will. Super excited.
Yeah.
I know you
Thanks.
were
I hope so.
sorry, it was lagging for a second. No,
Yeah.
you will, totally will. You were saying you were kind of like weaning off of TikTok a little bit, but if you started making TikToks about like what you're doing and like sharing your merch, because there's so many people on there, that was like a friend of mine who's like a coach and like helps with different things though, was like saying that especially during quarantine, like TikToks and podcasts are like
Hmm.
big things right now. So
See, I've thought about that, and I think, I'm trying. Like I said, I did not have a lot of time to like focus on this when I was finishing up school, but
right.
I've thought about like starting to do more like make a TikTok just for the business, and
Yeah,
then like start doing reels for the business because I've heard like those are good ways to get like
totally.
engagement and stuff too. So,
Mm-hmm.
and we try to do a lot of like giveaways and stuff like
I
that,
see.
but
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at ways like all the time how to like increase your engagement and stuff like that because
Sure.
of course like the goal is to grow the business. So
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely. And it's also free because a lot of the stuff like with marketing and different things like Facebook ads are good for expanding and different things depending on your business just to have more of an audience, but like some of it gets pretty expensive. So it's like a good way to
Yeah.
like market for free too.
Yeah.
So that's good. But
Yeah.
yeah, your stories always like popping. You always have a lot of stuff going
No,
on.
thanks.
Like
I try to stay
sharing.
on top of it. Some days I'm like, I have like not done anything on the account today, which is Instagram is like the sole way that I
Right.
like advertise and like I mean really I started like the page through Instagram before we even had a website. So like
Right.
when I first started it, like people would DM to buy. So like
Sure.
it's kind of transition, but yeah, Instagram is solely like the way I advertise and market right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm always trying to keep it up like some stuff on the story or make posts like pretty much daily. So
You're definitely consistent with it. I see it like every day. So
thanks.
that's good.
I
No,
try.
but it's important because that's how people like see what you're doing. And I think one of the biggest ways to like make it and be successful in any business is to be consistent. So you're definitely doing
Yeah.
that. That's really good.
Yeah.
So you kind of already said this in the past or like when we were talking earlier, but if you have a desire to make this full time, so maybe still tutor with teaching and do both, but this you do kind of hope to
Yeah.
like a big thing for you.
Yeah, I mean, really, like my heart is with this. Like, I love it so much.
Yeah,
It's like I feel like I'm like, it's like good for me because like I kind of like being like my own boss and like kind of like
yeah,
putting my
girl,
ideas into action
for
to
sure.
say like, so I really like in like, yeah, my degree, like I said, is in teaching, and like I do love like teaching too, like
Sure.
my student teaching I love. But yeah, right now my heart is with this, and like it's doing really well. So it's like, that makes it even more fun. So as long as it's doing well, I think I'll kind of stick with this because it's really like, it's fun, and like I'm passionate about it, and I feel like, there's like endless ideas that I have to
Yeah.
like I wish I had more hours in a day. So yeah, for now it is like my full-time thing. Now that I'm done with school, like my goal is to kind of really put my focus on my business and growing it, and
Yeah.
just kind of see how much more it can grow and what
Yeah.
comes of
That's what
it.
it's all about.
So
That's amazing. No, good for
yeah,
you. And that's exactly what you should do. Like we said, the teaching, it's not going anywhere.
exactly. Yeah. Now that I have my degree, it was like for a hot minute, I like almost thought about like not getting my degree and just like, just
Yeah.
doing this. But then I was like, I'm so close. Like I have less than a year left. Like I'm going to get my degree and just have that, which I'm so glad I did. But
Gives
like
you
you
options.
said, that's not going anywhere. So
Yeah.
I'm feeling good about just like focusing on this for now. So
Yeah, for sure. And it gives you like a lot of opportunity, and you
yeah.
have options. And someone told me, because like I don't really want to go into teaching either. I'm
Hmm.
working for myself and have a lot of stuff too. So I feel you on
Yeah.
that. But like teachers are hired too if you ever do work for someone else, or I'm saying this for myself too. But teachers like can be hired in a lot of different positions in not just education, because we know how to teach people things, like whether
Yeah.
it be in sales or marketing or I don't know, all kinds of
Just,
different stuff.
yeah.
We know how to teach people and like convince them,
Yeah.
and so it's
And I thought
definitely
about like I know some people that like from like my school, because like I did like a complete online school my last 2 years. So
okay.
I know some people that do. I don't know if you've ever heard of like VIP kids, but they wake up at like 5 a.m. and like teach until like 11 a.m. and then like do whatever else the rest of the day. So like I've thought about, maybe doing that eventually too,
Mm-hmm.
just so I can teach and run my business. But yeah, like
Yeah,
right now I feel like it is a full-time job, and like
sure.
I'm my focus and like my desire is to grow it. So right now it's my sole focus.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I
Yeah.
actually, so I graduated last year in 2019, and then I moved abroad. I was living in Spain for 8 months
Oh
teaching
my gosh.
English to kind
Wow.
of like figure stuff out. And so I was
Yeah.
supposed to stay a year, but I left because of COVID in March.
Oh.
So since then, I've been home, applied for teaching, and like was doing all this stuff. So I tried the VIP kid thing to make extra money while I was abroad too. And it's
Hmm.
just it's cool, but it's very different form of teaching. You're
Yeah.
very like,
Yeah.
it's very
Yeah.
animated, but it's
My
good.
friend that does it, she said it's like it's not like being a classroom teacher,
No,
but
I think it's good for a lot of people and you can be really successful, but the time difference is a big thing.
oh yeah, I could imagine. So yeah,
But
we'll
that's a good
see.
idea.
Maybe eventually, but
Yeah.
right now I feel like it'd be too much even. I know that sounds crazy, but like just oh my gosh, by the time you like when you're especially when you're like the only one doing it, like marketing and like getting the pictures on the website. And like I try to
Yeah.
do I've stopped doing that when I was in my student teaching, but I'm gonna transition back into that weekly new arrivals. Like
Sure.
it's like by the time you get them on there, like the next week you got to start going for the next week. So yeah, for now it's gonna be my one and only thing that's I have going. But maybe in the future once I get like, you know,
Yeah.
then I do a little teaching too. We'll
Sure.
see.
Yeah. Well, good for you for prioritizing that too. Because like we said, this too, the consistency is so key. And if you're trying to do too many things and balance too much, then it's really easy to like lose sight of your focus.
Yeah, and it's hard like for me when I was finishing like up my school, it was hard for me like just
To
getting
do both.
orders out like was like hard for me to do. So
Sure.
like I want to be able to like know that I have given it like my all,
Right.
so
Yeah. Or be
yeah.
at a point where you have people helping you, like you said, so
Yeah,
it's not all on you, so then you can do both.
yeah, exactly.
That's great.
Yeah.
So you said that your mom and sister have helped you a lot, but would you say this is such a huge thing when you're starting your own business or going out on a new venture? But do you feel like just from the people around you, and I guess because you've grown so big so quickly, do you feel like you've had like a lot of support from like the people that are close to you throughout this time and like them kind of like seeing your vision or like helping you figure things out?
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, like moving back in, like to like my house, like to finish school was such a blessing because like
Yeah.
my mom especially has been like so great about helping me, like, and not asking for anything in return. So that's like
awesome.
been awesome. Yeah, like especially during my student teaching, I could not have like done it without
Yeah.
her. But yeah, they really have been like super supportive and like, you know, they're all for it if I'm all for it. So that's really nice too, because you know, sometimes, well, and like I think they like, you know, see that like I enjoy it and like it is successful. So
True.
they are happy, I think, to support me with this. So
totally, that's huge.
but
Not everybody
yeah,
has that, so I think that that's like, it's huge. I don't think I know for, yeah, that's so awesome.
yeah, no, they're great. So
That's wonderful. I'm very glad
yeah,
that you have that, because it definitely, like, when you have that extra support, it like eases things just by so much.
yeah. Oh my gosh, I don't think I could have done it without my mom's help during my student teaching because
Yeah,
like
it's like a
that
full-time job.
itself was like a lot to focus on. So
It's 40 hours a week, right? Is that how yours works too?
yeah, I was there
Mine's
Monday
like
through Friday, like
I know. It's a lot.
yeah.
Do you guys
But
get paid for yours or no?
no.
Yeah.
And that was why I was like, I'm just gonna move home and like save money till I graduate
Totally.
because like
Yeah.
it's like a full-time job and like you're still going to school like on top of that too. So it's like, oh my gosh. But no, I'm glad I did it, but it was definitely like I'm glad it's over and now I have time to focus like on the business and growing it because I did not the past like 6 months. So
Right. Yeah. No, it's a lot. I had to do that too. It's definitely okay.
yeah, so you know.
Yeah, it's a lot, and especially because, like we said, you're not making any money. So then I'd go to work after, and you were going to work after.
Exactly. Yeah. And then you're like trying to write papers and you're like, oh my God. Like
I know. And lesson planning, it's so much.
yes. Oh my goodness.
So much. So you said that right now you are in your office. I haven't asked this before, but I think that I'm kind of like building up my room. My lighting still, I need to work on it. I'm getting a new lamp, but I just got a new, like my bed, I have a new desk, all these different things. But I think that an office space is so important to kind of like gather your thoughts and, you know, just kind of like have an area where you can go do your thing.
Yeah.
So what is like your, I guess you can kind of describe like your office space, but or like what is your inspo behind what you do in there, or like how you made it your space? Does that make sense?
Sorry, you cut out. I don't know if there was like I
Can
heard
you
you
hear me
say about my yeah, I can hear you now.
just kind of to you, what is the importance of having an office space and what is the inspo behind like what you wanted it to look like or what it is for you?
So yeah, so like I said, like my right now it's like my mom like I said, I'm living at home. I'm gonna transition. I'm moving out in like a few weeks. But it was my mom's like movie room upstairs and I've just kind of like taken it over. So like it's really not like what my own like office space will end up looking like.
Right.
But I do like the importance of it. Like I could not like without this room, like this, like my stuff is like taking up all of it. So it is like extremely important because I package orders in here. I like keep my like extra like inventory in here. Like I do like my ordering on my computer in here. So yeah, it's definitely like a must, especially for like an completely online like business. And like when I get my own, like when I move like into my apartment and like set up my own office space, I want to like set up like I bought this thing. I don't know if you've seen. I wish I had it out and I would show you, but I haven't opened the box. But it's like kind of like a trifold, like
desk.
Not a desk. Like it's like a background thing. Like I don't know. Like a lot of influencers use them, and they're like white or black. The one I ordered is white, but it's like you put like I don't know. You put a mirror in front of it, and I'm just thinking like I ordered one because like when I get my own office, like and I move into my apartment, I want to set up like a like kind of like put that trifold thing in the back, put a mirror so that you can do like we were talking about TikToks and reels and stuff like that.
I know.
And like kind of have a cute little space for that. So it's not like a wall. So yeah, I mean, that's kind of like the vision I have right now. It's not necessarily how like I envision it, but yeah, it's definitely like you said, a necessity because it's hard. It would be almost impossible, I feel like, without this little space to like do everything that I do on a daily basis. So
yeah. No, I completely agree. I just started trying to transition too because like coming home, I'm probably not going to move out till next year just to save up. And with COVID around here right now, I think I want to stay in the States. So I kind of got to figure out where I want to go before I like, move out.
That's my thing too. Yeah. It's like, I did not want to get into anything with COVID and like all that. Like, so.
Yeah. So gonna wait a little bit longer, but it's definitely not what it will be when it's like my own space, but definitely working to make it what it can be while I'm here.
Exactly.
Even if I'm here for the next 8 months, like I got to be getting things done. And I have been doing so much better since I've had it.
Yeah.
It's so important.
Yeah.
So important.
Yeah.
So we'll kind of like finish up, but do you have any tips that you want to give to people that are either looking into like starting their own business or just kind of in a place of like uncertainty and stuff right now during quarantine when it comes to like going after what they want?
Yeah, no. If I had any like advice to give, I personally don't think that like this would have ever became like a full-time business for me if quarantine hadn't happened and I wasn't like forced out of my comfort zone to like
For sure.
put my all into my business. Like I probably would have just continued being like a side thing because I think I would have been like nervous that it, you know, would have failed. But because quarantine happened and everything was shut down, it was the only thing that I could focus on and I was trying to make money. Sure. So I guess like if my one piece of advice would be to like, you know, go for it, because like if I wasn't have like been made like forced basically to go for it, I don't know if I ever would have fully like put my all into it. And like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I did, because like we were talking about earlier, like I absolutely like love it. It's like so fun for me. Like I love being like my own boss and like using my creativity. So for anyone like starting a business, that would be my big tip, because like like I know a lot of people I'm sure are like this, but you know, I think a lot of people are like nervous to, you know, like put their all into something and like afraid of it failing. And I was, you know, like I said, if I wouldn't have like had to do that, I probably wouldn't have. So that would be my like big advice, I guess. Like I said, I'm still learning, but
sure. No, well, that is like so huge and such a big part of it, you know. And it is like if you give up every time something doesn't go your way, then you're never going to like make it. The whole point is like to keep going and learn from your mistakes.
Well, and there have been moments like, and I've been so fortunate, like honestly moving back like home for the time being until I did finish college was like such a blessing, because like there were times that like, I don't know, I mean like it's been pretty steady, but there are times, you know, it's slowing down or like, you know, just normal business stuff. And I think like my personality is like to panic. So I think like if I would have, you know, if I hadn't have seen this one, now I wouldn't do that, because I've seen it. Okay, it gets right back up again. But like, I think like with a business, especially and like starting your own, like there are like ups and downs, and like you have to like get creative and think of the next thing. So that's another thing that, you know, I've learned, because like living at home, it's not been as scary because I haven't been like completely on my own. But now when I will, you know, when I am going on my own, I know that like that's just part of it. And, you know, owning like having a business and running a business, like you have to like think of the next thing, and like you can't get down, and like you can't be an emotional person, I feel like, and I am an emotional person too. So like I've had to really like train myself to like, you know, you just gotta like think of the next thing and, you know, keep going. So that would be my advice, I guess, for what it's worth.
No, for sure. And it's great advice. Like I said, doing so well in such a short amount of time, having such good support, but also like I feel like you've proven through this whole conversation, not that you have to prove anything, that's not what I mean, but like that you're passionate, not proven, but like shown and expressed that you're passionate about what you're doing. You're also like very honest and like real about, hey, like stuff isn't always working in my favor, which is really important, because you're being like authentic and being like, hey, I'm working hard at this, but like stuff is hard sometimes, and that's just how I learn. So I think that that's awesome.
Yeah, no.
At home, my brother.
No, I totally understand. I totally get it. But yeah, no, it's like, you know, I feel like any time with a business, like I said, like the emotional part, like I've really had to like learn to be black and white about things. And like, you know, if things are like slowing down, you just got to think of the next thing and like get creative and, you know, think about, you know, what's trendy or what people would like. So, you know, you just got to like be creative and, you know, just kind of stay, I guess, like with the trends, I guess, for what I'm doing at least. So but that would be my advice. So
for sure. And that's like part of the fun of it with what you're doing too. I feel like a lot of businesses start something and then they kind of like stick with the same thing for an extended period of time because it's kind of hard to get creative.
Yeah.
Especially as you like branch out and like, you know, have your own line, your own merch and like do things like that. And because there's so many different articles of clothing and stuff, like there's so many cool things you could do.
Yeah,
exactly. There's some kind of like watch bands, I don't know. But
yeah.
like, you know, like if they're not the Apple ones, I don't know. But like there's so many different things you could do to accessorize or to be like the main thing that people are wearing. So your opportunities are truly endless, which is really great.
Yeah, no, that's so true. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, because not everyone's like opportunities are like that. So you have a great thing going. I think that you turned something that you enjoyed into something wonderful, very creative. So like I said, don't underestimate your creative side because all of a sudden it came out
Thank you.
Way. Those high school, college art classes are hard.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I know.
I tried ceramics and my pots were going everywhere. It's craziness. But where can everyone find you if looking for you for your website or social media, or where can they look to find it?
Yeah, is there like a way I can like type? Do you want me to type or do you just want me to?
You can, or I'll just tag it afterwards.
Okay, yeah.
So people can click on it.
The Vintage Designs is the Instagram page.
Okay.
And then like the link to shop is just in the bio. So that's really, I mean, everything that we do is pretty much through Instagram, which I'm going to try and like evolve it out of that, just that. But yeah, right now it's just through Instagram. So just through the page. And then, like I said, the link is in the bio. The website is mvintagedesigns.com. So
I think it's so smart to have it so easily accessible for your customers to find you. So I think that's a really good idea. And I love supporting like all of the small businesses, especially when their stuff is like super cute and great. But like the people that I interview, so like I showed my like family and like some friends your stuff too, and they were super impressed. They were like, "Oh, I want one."
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you.
Definitely doing a really cool thing.
Thank you so much. It's fun and I enjoy it, and I feel really blessed that like I'm able to like call it my job. So
yeah, no, it's so cool. So cool. What actual month did you start?
I started like a little here and there, like February. Okay. So I didn't even have my website. It became too much for me to keep up with on Instagram in like April. So I think around then is when I started a website. Okay. But like it was all through Instagram up until like April.
That's awesome. And literally 8 months, 10 months in.
Yeah, and I remember like I was on my phone all the time, and like I would not even be like having we'd be at dinner, my parents were like, "Get off your phone!" Like, and I'm like, I have to keep up with this. So like the website really like saved me a lot of time too, because like through Instagram you have to respond, you know, and all that. Yeah. So the website was great, but yeah. So I would say I started like end of February probably.
Oh yeah, girl. Well, keep it up. I can't wait for my shirt, and
yeah, I'm so excited.
Posting about it on Instagram, and I'll get my sister to post.
Yay!
So fun. So I will tag everything below as well as Haley Beaver.
Oh yeah, yeah, we have to tag Haley Beaver. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Of course, you're so wonderful, and I can't wait to see you flourish and do so many awesome things.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great night. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks. You too. Bye-bye.